Okay. Excellent. Now I'm going to taste this garlic bread. Oh, that's good. That is so good. Yes. Excellent.
What's the matter with the baby? What's the matter?
Hey guys, and welcome back to 234 in La Casa. So this evening we're going to do dinner in a dash. We'll do dinner in a dash this evening. I'm going to do a recipe that I've named Lightning Layered Lasagna. So lightning is for the speed, and then layered is of course because it's lasagna, and I know that's a little bit redundant because we all know that lasagna is layered, but I decided to keep that name, and so we'll just go with it, okay? I'm already aware it's redundant, so there's no need to say anything in the comments about it, but if you want to, be my guest, and I'll be sure to respond to it in a very loving way there as well, okay? All right, so I'll see you back over here in just a minute with all the ingredients for this lightning layered lasagna. It's very quick, very simple, a great weeknight meal or weekend or holiday or whenever you like to have it or prepare it. And you guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It does help my channel grow, and I love interacting with you all in the comment section. I get a lot of joy out of it. Feel free to ask any questions that you would like about preparation, recipes, measurements, temperatures, all those different things, and I do respond, and it's me personally responding in those comments in the comment section, okay? All right, guys, well, I'm sending love to you all, and I will meet you all over here with the ingredients for lightning layered lasagna for the Dinner in the Dash series. See y'all in a second. Come on, Kay. All right, guys, so I've got some water that I'm putting to boil. This is where our pasta is gonna go, and I already have some butter in there, and we're gonna be using egg noodles for our lightning layered lasagna. And then I also have some 85.15 that was on sale at the store, and I also had a coupon for it as well. So I think I had a $1.20 coupon, and then I had a digital coupon for another $1.20 off. So I decided to get this, and I'm just gonna brown the ground beef, and we're gonna salt and pepper that ground beef as well. And don't forget to put some salt in your pasta water as well, okay? All right. So a little bit of salt and some pepper. And then I have some onions that I sauteed in butter a couple of days ago and just stuck them in the refrigerator. So I'm gonna add that as well. They're kind of sliced, and so I know my kids don't care for onion that much, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it up where the onion is a little bit more diced like. Okay, so I'm gonna add that as well to the ground beef. Okay, so I just grabbed these out of the fridge, and they're just buttered onions. And I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of slice them up. They were sliced long ways, and I'm just gonna kind of dice them up a little bit smaller, so that way they will kind of dissolve, not dissolve, but get a little bit more, they're a little bit more hidden in the dish. My kids, I have one child that she hates onions. She'll sit there and pick them out. But everybody else loves onions. So anyway, okay. All right, so we're gonna wait for that to brown, and then we're also gonna use some tomato paste for our tomato, for our sauce for our lasagna. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and preheat our oven at 375. And then here's the tomato paste, and I'm gonna add about a cup or two or a cup and a half of water to this. And this is a 6-ounce can of tomato paste as well. All right, y'all, I've got my water added to the tomato paste. I'm just gonna kind of mix that together, and you can whisk it together as well. This is cooking. You can also pull out your cheese. I'm gonna be using Colby Jack, a mixture of Colby Jack and mozzarella. I'm gonna go ahead and start shredding the cheese while I wait on the meat to cook and everything. And the water to start boiling, which it is boiling now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my egg noodles. And this egg, this is a 12-ounce bag. It's about A little over half of this bag is left, so I'm gonna add all of it. Well, I think I'm gonna add all of it. Let me kind of eyeball it really quick and see if I wanna add all of it or not, because I may not. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. I don't wanna overcrowd my pasta. This smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and add some garlic to this ground, the 8515 that I've got here. And that's granulated garlic there that I'm gonna be using. Also gonna use some complete seasoning by Badia. And if you don't have complete seasoning, you can just use any kind of seasoning that you would like to season your protein with, okay? It's not a big deal if you don't have complete seasoning. I just moved off of a feeling. I saw it up there in the cabinet and decided I wanted to use it. I don't always use that with my lasagna sauce, but I saw it and I wanted to use it tonight. So it's kind of just operating off of a feeling on that. Chef Paul Prudhomme, his Poultry Magic, okay? I'm gonna add some of that. And if you don't have this, don't worry about it. Okay, and this is, like I said, this is 8515. It does not have a lot of fat. I don't see a lot of fat rendering on it in the pot. So I'm not gonna drain this, because normally I'll leave some fat content in my lasagna sauce. So I'm just gonna leave it as it is and go ahead and start seasoning. I'm gonna add some oregano. And I'm not measuring, I'm just going off of a feeling. So oregano in there, and then I'm gonna add some Tony sachets. I just call it Tony's. And some basil. And normally I'll use fresh herbs in the grocery section. They have these herbs that you can buy that are already chopped up. They come in these little containers. Normally I'll use that, but I don't have any of that. I really love that when I'm making like spaghetti sauces and lasagna sauces and stuff, but I'm out. So I'm just gonna use what I have in my pantry. And that's another point of dinner in a dash too, is that you're able to use what you already have in your pantry. Instead of having to like run out and get stuff. You know, on a busy night of whichever night of the week it may be, on a busy night of the week, that you already have everything that you need to make these meals. Okay, and then I'm going to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar. I think I'm going to do 2. I just feel like that's what I need to do. And then I'm going to add some more salt and pepper. And of course I'm going to be using pink Himalayan sea salt and just ground black pepper. So we've got a pinch of salt there, and then some pepper. I'm going to mix that up, and then we'll add our the tomato paste that has water in it. And for my spaghetti sauce, I tend to add more water to the tomato paste, but for lasagna, I want it to be thicker so that it's a little bit more sturdy with the noodles. It kind of sits on top of the noodles. Okay. I'm just gonna add just a little bit more water to get the rest of that tomato paste out of the bowl as much as I can. Okay, and then you can turn your eye up. All right, y'all, these egg noodles are ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and drain these off. All right, y'all, so here are the noodles. I strain them, drain them in a colander, and I place them in a bowl. Let me stir up the sauce. And to the sauce, I'm gonna add like 2 bay leaves. And I think I'm leaving something out. If it comes to me what I'm leaving out in the next few minutes, I'll add whatever it is I think I'm leaving out. But if not, meaning I think I'm leaving out something with the sauce. So I'm at the bottom of my bay leaves. So there's a half one, and that's the bay leaves I'm using. It's by Badia. Just put that there. And then you're gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes, and that'll give us time to do our cheese, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with these egg noodles too. Okay, y'all, so I've got the lid on this, and it's gonna simmer for about 10 minutes. Oh, I think I said 20, but I really meant 10. If I said 20, forgive me. And then with this, what we're gonna do, I've already put some butter in the bottom of that bowl. Okay, so to the noodles, we're gonna add some spring onion, which I have in my freezer. I'm just gonna use that. And we're gonna use some sour cream and some cottage cheese, okay? And I'm using small curd. So this is gonna kind of replace the ricotta that people normally use when they're layering their lasagna. And so we're just gonna mix that in. Then we're gonna add in some sour cream. And you can mix this separately. Like you can do your sour cream and ricotta cheese in a separate bowl and then add your noodles to it and mix it together that way if you would prefer to do it that way, okay? All right, so I've got my Pyrex dish. I already sprayed Parm on it. My last video cut off before I could let you all know to add some spring onions to your noodles, and that's about all that I'm gonna add, just because I've told you all before, my kids don't like a whole lot of onions, but you're gonna wanna add spring onions to your noodles, and you can see how this is all coated with the sour cream and the cottage cheese, okay? Salted, peppered, I've got granulated garlic in here, butter, and then some spring onions, okay? And I think I did about, even like 1/8 of a cup of spring onions in here, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and start layering. And so all you're gonna do is just pour this out, and you're only gonna do 2 layers of pasta, okay? So you pour half on the bottom and get that distributed evenly. And you just want to make sure that you reserve half your sauce for your top layer, okay? So don't use all of it on the bottom. Unless that's the way you want it. All right, and then we're going to put some cheese on here. And like I said, I'm using Colby Jack and mozzarella. All right, then we'll do another layer of noodles. And then we will put the rest of the meat sauce on top of this and the rest of our cheese. And then we will stick it in the oven at 375 for about 20 minutes. And during that time, we'll go ahead and do our garlic bread. Right, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of parsley on top of this, and then we'll cover this with foil. I'm gonna spray my foil so that it doesn't stick to the cheese. So I'll spray it with Parm. All right, guys, so this just came out of the oven. I wound up after being in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes. I turned it up to 400 for another 10 minutes. And so there it is. So I'm gonna let this set up, and I'm gonna keep it covered while I allow it to set up, and go ahead and start on the garlic bread. So the garlic bread, I'm gonna turn my oven on to 450. I may even do 475, I'll just see. Okay, so I'm gonna start at 450, and I'm gonna use these Artesano sausage rolls. I'm starting off with about 6 tablespoons of butter, and I'm gonna melt that. Okay, guys, so this is the garlic bread in the oven. I have it at 450. I thought my phone was recording and it wasn't. So all I did was put a thin layer of mayonnaise on the garlic bread, and that's the mayonnaise that I used. Melted butter with granulated garlic and a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt mixed together, and then I spooned that on the bread as well, and then I put some mozzarella cheese on top, okay? All right, I'll bring you all back when it's ready. All right, guys, so the bread is ready to come out of the oven. All right, and there it is. And like I said, my other video, I stopped recording. It stopped recording, so I apologize that you all weren't able to see me. I put, like I said, a thin layer of mayonnaise on the bread, and then I put the melted butter with granulated garlic and a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt. Mix that together, and then I, spoon that on top of the bread, and then had some mozzarella that was grated, put that on here along with parsley. And like I said when I thought it was recording, you can also use spring onions or green onions if you would prefer in place of the parsley, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and let this rest for just a second, and then I will cut this. And I did mention too, in that when I thought it was recording, that the thing that I like about the sausage rolls is you can have a thinner piece of bread or a thicker piece of bread, kind of like a French bread. You know, if somebody likes the thickness of French bread, then this still gives you that. And for people that want the thinness, like I like my bread to be thin, then that gives you that option as well, okay? All right, and so I'll bring you all back once I get this plated up. Okay, y'all, one other thing I forgot to mention too is that you can use some grated Parmesan cheese too. I just sprinkled some on here as I brought it out of the oven. I just realized I forgot to put some on there, but you can also put some on there underneath your mozzarella cheese if you would like, or like I said, you can sprinkle some on there when it comes out of the oven. And so that's exactly what I just got through doing. And so now I'm gonna do a taste test. I'm gonna scoot this over. I'm gonna use this piece of garlic bread. I'm going to bring this over. Because like I said, I like thin garlic bread. And then, let me see here. I'm going to bring you all just a little bit closer so y'all can really see. Okay, and so that's the bread. You can see that. There's that. And the spring onions, they are cooked, so they're not like still raw looking or anything like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna taste this. It smells excellent. And it did rest, you know, it did rest for a little bit. Okay, all right, so here's this. It's smoking, it looks good. I'm gonna taste the Lightning Layered Lasagna first. And then I'll taste the garlic bread. Let's see. It's very good. Very good, let me get another bite. Look at that. Oh yeah, this is excellent. And it doesn't take all that work that goes into lasagna, even though I do make a lasagna, but this is, you know, this is less layering, less handiwork. That. Now I'm gonna taste this garlic bread. Oh, that's good. That is so good. Yes, excellent. Only thing I'll say about my Lightning Layered Lasagna is it needs some more salt, I think. But see, my kids are always like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't need any more salt. Everybody says it doesn't need any more salt. I always think something needs more salt. So that's just me, but it's good. That's it. It's got plenty of garlic. The lasagna sauce is excellent. It's very good. All right, y'all. Okay, well, I will see you all back here on another day for another episode of 234 in La Casa. And thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all back here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm gonna pick another bite of that and go sit down at the table and enjoy my food. See y'all later.